Good morning, guys. It's Monday, March 28th, 2022. This is the Beyond the Mat show with a few news updates for you. Got news here on The Rock, Wrestlemania, some changes to Raw tonight. We'll start off with The Rock. You know, a lot of people have speculated, is The Rock going to make a return here at WrestleMania 38 in Dallas? Is Roman Reigns going to win? Is The Rock going to come in here and stare him down and set up a long-term program? And according to Dave Meltzer, that is not going to happen. Ringside News reports that Dave Meltzer saying that he has talked to a tenured member of the writing team at WWE and that there have not been any plans for The Rock to make any kind of appearance at WrestleMania in Dallas. However, he is planning to make a return at Survivor Series 2022 to set up the main event for WrestleMania 39, The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and that's basically not etched in stone, but it's a foregone conclusion that that's what their plan is right now. Obviously, anything can happen. They do not believe The Rock is going to back out of this because they think he's running out of time. And if you think about it, if you look at The Rock's age and trajectory, compare him to somebody like Triple H or just anybody from the Attitude Era, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's at the age where he needs to distance himself from wrestling for his own health. And if he is going to be in a one-off program to put over Roman Reigns, that's great. But he also has other aspirations like politics and things like that. So if he's going to do something, it needs to be now or within a year or so that he can start working on the next chapter of his life. But regardless, we're going to see a nice, big, long-term build, at least starting with Survivor Series for The Rock and Roman next year at WrestleMania in Los Angeles, which is definitely a precursor and an indication that Roman Reigns is going to beat Brock Lesnar next Sunday. Monday Night Raw. A lot of different things have happened with Monday Night Raw tonight. The plan was for the Usos to take on RK Bro. That's still on. Not really sure, like we say, why these two teams are going against each other, but it's still good to see champion versus a champion. It will be a good match. I don't see a finish happening here. I think there's going to be some sort of interference. I also think the Usos are only in the building because whatever goes down with Reigns and Lesnar is going to require backup from the Usos. Originally planned Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair and Ronda Rousey. That match has been canceled because Ronda Rousey has a torn tissue that connects her lip and her gums. So when I heard this, I'm thinking, she has this torn tissue in her mouth, and maybe this is why she's so quiet on the microphone and why she doesn't do well with her promos. And on the other hand, I'm wondering, does WWE realize how naturally terrible she is on the microphone and they kayfabe an injury to keep her off TV? I really don't know. I don't know what the alternative plan is now that they don't have Rousey for that tag match. But we did not need to really see Becky and Charlotte take on Bianca and Ronda. There's no reason for the tag teams together. There's no reason for Becky and Charlotte to be together. There's no reason for Bianca and Ronda to be together. It's just to have all these women interact in some way. And if they can fill that spot of the show with something else for the U.S. title or whatever, I'd be a lot happier than seeing that match. We already know that Rollins is going to take over this show somehow because he doesn't have his WrestleMania opponent. We've all heard the rumors. I'm not going to go over it. He's going to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes is going to make his entrance at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes is going to maintain his character he had in AEW. They're not stripping him of that. Don't know how the entrance is going to go, but I'm excited about it. But if you think about it, Seth taking over the show, people say this because last year Daniel Bryan took over the show after he was interfered with by Edge. When Edge won the Royal Rumble, we're getting ready for Mania. We have, I believe it was Payback right before WrestleMania. Edge hits Daniel Bryan with a chair, to cause him to lose to Roman Reigns when he had Roman Reigns in his submission hold tapping out. Then he sits on a chair in Raw, basically says he's not leaving until he gets what he wants. Edge turns heel, which he basically already did by hitting Daniel Bryan in the first place, but he completely turns dark here, beats up Daniel Bryan again. This eventually becomes a triple threat for WrestleMania, which was initially just Edge versus Reigns because Edge won the Royal Rumble. Back then, because of Daniel Bryan's abilities in the ring and his accomplishments and the way the story was told, the way he really was screwed by Edge, it made the audience feel like he deserved to have an opportunity in that triple threat match. This year, they've made you feel Rollins deserves a match, but they have not done a great job by what they've used to tell the story and what direction they're going to go in with the match and what he really deserves. They've just had him lose over and over again. So, if he's saying he deserves to have this match and they say you have to face Kevin Owens to be able to deserve to do the show with Stone Cold Steve Austin, he didn't win that match, so he doesn't deserve that. Him tearing apart the set and all that stuff like that, it just shows how much this is getting to him and how unpredictable things will be tonight if he doesn't get what he wants, which we know he won't. So, and I'm fine with this stuff. Seth was freaking hilarious last week. I think he's going to be hilarious again this week. I just hope it makes sense. I hope they got some direction with this, and that the show itself tonight isn't just a total mess, because they got matches like the Street Profits versus the Alpha Academy, great tag match, but we've seen it a million times. We know they're facing each other with RK Bro at WrestleMania. And speaking of RK Bro, I was watching the WWE Evil series, and Orton was in there, and it reminded me how much I hated Orton before he really got involved in RK Bro. I never liked him, always thought he was a prick. But he's been working on a spot for this match at WrestleMania where he's going to hit an RKO, most likely when they're going to get everybody out front for Montez Ford to do that, running Superman Plancha, and Randy's going to try to RKO him midair off that plancha. If he's able to do that, I think that would look amazing. But I really think that those three teams can put on a clinic. Like I said, later on in the night, we got a 4-on-4 match with Rhea Liv, Naomi Sasha versus Carmella Zelina, Baszler, and Natalya. They've done enough with these four women showing that they know how to wrestle and they know how to put on a match. I just want to see them do their fatal 4-way tag match and figure out who's going to be the champion. Maybe tonight we get Liv and Rhea going over, because we have not seen Rhea, I guess, since they're on the same 4-woman team, going over, because we have not seen that babyface team win yet. So it just, everybody else has got a chance to look strong except for them. But I just don't see Rhea remaining in a tag team to be a champion after she just got out of the tag team with Nikki ASH. And so I'm thinking that Naomi and Sasha are going to win this at Mania and hopefully make those women's belts look a little bit stronger. And hopefully after Mania we can get some women's tag teams called up to the main roster and things like that. So Rousey's injury to her lip, it's not going to keep her out of WrestleMania. It's just going to keep her off of Raw tonight. She tweeted this earlier today, so that's all there is to say about that. Now, of course, we got Omos. He's a Raw superstar. Another Raw superstar who was drafted with the final pick in the draft is Gable Steveson. Gable Steveson, 21 years old, 2-time NCAA amateur wrestling champion, 6'1", 265 pounds. So if we're comparing him to other wrestlers just entering, Kurt Angle was about the same size. WWE loves Gable Steveson. A tenured member of the writing team has released that they are planning to put him immediately to the top of the card. They're not going to start him in any kind of mid-card or tag team. They're going to start him feuding with the likes of Rollins, Kevin Owens, people like that. But it's rumored that it's going to start with Omos backstage. It's been pitched several times for him to come in and squash Omos in about 20 seconds at WrestleMania, which actually isn't a bad idea. They've spent time building Omos as this monster. They've had Gable Steveson in their back pocket. You know, he's not a huge guy, but not a small guy, certainly capable. We all know what Kurt Angle did. We all know Kurt Angle's background is very similar to Gable Stevenson's. Gable Steveson may even be more talented than Kurt Angle. He's the type of guy that WWE really covets. He's got everything. He's got the look. He's got pretty decent size. Not huge, a little bit shorter. You know, I'm actually taller than him, but he's got the look of someone who's big. He's definitely got very good skills on a microphone, which are going to work out. He's going to work on, and very good in-ring skills and a very good worker, very safe worker. So that all being said, having him against Omos in a match, whether it's 20 seconds or 20 minutes, would be great because he could take care of Omos in the ring. Maybe the size differential will allow Omos to do something to him, and then you have him defeat Omos, which justifies him being at the top of the card because he beat somebody who's undefeated and nobody else could beat. But it would also squash Omos at the same time. And the problem I have with that is that you spent all this time with Omos being undefeated and just squashing everybody else, that if you squash him, then it just makes everybody look terrible. But it's not a bad long-term idea to build Omos as a monster and then have Gable Steveson come in and defeat him in some way. But he definitely shouldn't just squash him. Okay? If he squashes him in 20 seconds, it'll ruin everything. And to clarify, that is not any kind of plan. That was just something suggested by several superstars backstage. But Gable Steveson, you know, he's the future here. You know, he may not even debut at WrestleMania. He'll be there. We all know that. He tweeted that. And he may be at the Raw the following day. He may not be on Raw for a couple more months. We don't know. But all I do know is that the Lashley-Omos matchup is likely canceled. That one, they were hoping Lashley would be ready for it. It doesn't look like he's going to be. So, you know, that's that. They have to move on and have another plan. And it looks to me like it's going to be Gable Steveson for Omos, or maybe they get rid of all that. Like I said, there's still a lot of stuff to work out. There's still a week. A lot of us are panicking. No IC title. Andre the Giant Battle Royals only has 17 people. These matches aren't right. Aren't all good. There needs to be more matches. There needs to be less celebrities. Let's just see how it plays out, see how the stories move on, and give them time to one last week to maybe do the things that we're looking for. You know, tonight's Raw is a big Raw. Hopefully they can make some headway in the form of storylines. There's not much they can do with Charlotte and Ronda. We don't need Ronda on a mic. There's not much they can do with Becky and Bianca. Now, the thing I'll say about Becky and Bianca is a lot of us forget that last year when Bianca faced Sasha Banks at WrestleMania and defeated her, she used that hair and whipped the hell out of Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks had marks all over her stomach. She's done the same thing again to Becky. I really don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for somebody to go after that hair And honestly, having Sasha there and Becky in the building, I would have them cut Ronda's or Bianca's hair off tonight. But I don't see that happening tonight. I would like to see some sort of stipulation be added to the Reigns and Lesnar match, considering that they're going to have some sort of showdown tonight. The Usos will be in the building. Heyman's going to be in the building. Any sort of thing happens, the Usos get involved. I think Lesnar needs to make this a match where the Usos cannot be at ringside. I doubt we're going to see Heyman be barred from ringside. I think Heyman's going to be part of the finish, but you never know. But that's what we got. We got a pretty good episode of Raw to look forward to. Got a lot of stuff to look forward to for WrestleMania. And we have The Rock to look forward to for Survivor Series. Last but not least, we have Gable Steveson to look forward in the immediate future. So WWE's got some good things going on. We'll see what happens. Just a programming note, we're going to have another live show after Raw tonight, live show after SmackDown Friday, live show Saturday and Sunday following both WrestleManias. And we'll have a podcast Monday through Friday this week with news updates and also news updates Saturday and Sunday during the day. Going forward, we'll have several shows during the week dropping, so just subscribe to the podcast feed. We'll likely have an episode a day, whether it's only 20 minutes long or an hour and a half. It all depends on the content, the guests, and the situation, but I'm working hard to get information out to you guys as soon as possible in a way that you can consume quickly and not be overwhelmed with a lot of me talking at you with opinions that you don't care about. So go ahead, search Beyond the Mat, WWE, subscribe to it. On Twitter, I'm at Beyond Mat. And then you can also shoot me an email, beyondthematwwe@gmail.com. I'll read your question on the air. Please like and subscribe. Look out for the next episode. I'll see you guys tonight after Raw.